think we're live.
Yes, good, brilliant.
Yes. Hi, Shane.
Hello, Jess. You never know whether you're going to go live or not on these things, do we? So, hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning
Hi.
into this session. This session is brilliant to do business with. So here we are. My name's Shane. I'm AVP of International Sales, and you are
I
the
am
wonderful.
the Senior Director of Sales with Virgin. And typically we let Shane be the beauty and the wit around. But for this topic, I made an appearance. So it's so nice to see everyone. You can see me. I can't see you, but I see the lovely comments. So I am coming to you guys from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's where I'm spending my summer to escape the Florida heat. And Shane, where are you in the world?
I am in actually the very sunny today, Wales in the United Kingdom. So yes, it is very sunny today. So that's very unusual. So it's nice to have see the blue sky.
Well, that's what this is all about, right? It's finding the sunshine in the otherwise dreary world of Wales and COVID and everything. So thank you all for joining. This topic, as I said, it's really near and dear to my heart. The topic is brilliant to do business with. It was and now has become our absolute North Star in the way that our sales team thinks and operates, and not just the whole sales, the entire company of Virgin Voyages is thinking about our relationship with our first mates. But I would say it's not a bragging right, because I think we had a lot of work to do here. And so that's the work that Shane and I are hopefully going to share with you today. Mm-hmm. So Shane, I'll kick it off and then you come in. So this session is meant to be more conversational. Shane and I are on the same team, and we are on conference calls, I would say almost half the day with each other. So we spend a lot of time with each other and with the rest of the sales team, with the rest of the company. And as we came into this pause that we are all in and that none of us really wanted to be in, we decided to, really make the most of it. And so I would say as soon as we were over the part of, re-strategizing about, canceling our maiden voyage, which was so unfortunate, and choosing a new sail date, which ultimately then had to be postponed again. As soon as we went through that first round of, oh shoot, we have to move our sail dates, we immediately, as a sales team, we sat down and we started listing out things that needed to be addressed. Feedback that we had heard from you, our first mates, that we knew this was the time to attack it. And Shane, we had a laundry list, really, and yeah, jump in.
Yeah, we really did. And I think one of the key points to note is the fact that we were running 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? We were launching this new product. This is new experience. We brought the ship to the UK and she was on her way to the US when everything changed. But we really wanted to take this time. And I think the thing that I'm the most proud of is, as a business, we took the time to address challenges that we wanted to fix. But we ultimately took the time to say, what can we do to be better partners for our first mates? And what can we do to now already, very early on in that pause, to make sure that they're in the best position to recover their business moving forward? So for you, our first mate. So that for me was really moving, because we were already very early on looking at what can we do to be better. To be better for you, to be better partners, and we'll obviously come on to talk about a number of those things today. But they're all encompassed in this brilliant to do business with mentality.
Yeah, and I would say that on top of that, it was, we also took the time, obviously, to re-strategize our business, and working with Ryan and our partners at Bain Capital and Tom and Nirmal and our team at Virgin Voyages. We took a look at how our business was going to shift coming out of this. And we immediately realized through research and just it being pretty apparent that the cruiser that comes back and adopts early post-COVID is a cruiser. Right? We heard the research that they, if the restrictions were lifted today, I think 55% of cruisers would hop on a ship. And I think that's really exciting for us. And where do we find most cruisers, or most cruisers are booked through our first mates? I mean, you're really our channel that's got these deep client relationships that can bring sailors to our brand. And I think we all recognize that. And the amazing thing about working at Virgin is, even in a crisis, there's a willingness and an understanding that we need to invest in some areas financially. So not only our time and our effort and our focus, but our dollars. And I think that comes across in the first pillar of our Brilliant to Do Business With campaign that we're going to talk about. So there's 4 pillars. The very first pillar is compelling commission. And this is something that we launched on July 1st. Hopefully you've seen it, you've read about it in Travel Weekly, or you've seen it in an email or on our website, is that we have raised our commission rates to 16%. So this is that investment and that unwavering support to really increase the earning power for you. We recognize that this is an incredibly difficult time, and for many of you, this is your business. This is you're an entrepreneur, and this is where you've put your time and energy and passion, and we really want to be there and support you as well. So we've raised our commission on voyage fare to 16%, and that is paid at final payment, your sailor's final payment, which our typical policy is 120 days prior to the voyage starting. Post-COVID, we've relaxed that down to 60 days to give your sailors a little bit more peace of mind. But we pay that 16% on voyage fare right up front. And that was also based on some feedback we had received post-COVID, which was our partners, our first mate partners had really challenged us to think about how we could move money from possibly being paid out post-voyage to be paying out pre-voyage. And so that's really what we tried to do. The other aspects of our commission program are that we pay on all bookables. So anything sold pre-voyage, the one that gets paid out at 120 days or final payment is voyage protection, something that's incredibly important to sailors moving forward. And so we pay 10% on that as well. I don't know, Shane, if you want to explain some of the other things that we pay out on post-voyage, which are bookables.
Yeah, so there's a number of things that we pay out on post-voyage, including bar tab. That for those of you that were in the session with Chris Stubbs earlier, that will also be paid at 10% commission, including shore things. So there is a great session that's happening right now. So if you're missing that, you'll be able to watch the recording of that, because there's so much to learn there. I think the important point to make as well is, it's not only if you book it as the first mate. So if your sailor was to go onto our app and to book the bar tab or to book a shore excursion, you're still receiving the 10% commission as well. So essentially you're getting paid to do nothing in some instances, which is the best way to be paid, right? So you'll get paid 10% commission on those pre-bookables. And as we get nearer to voyage, there'll be more and more things added that your sailors will be able to pre-book, and that means there's more opportunities for you to earn even more money, which is a really important thing.
Absolutely. So let's move into our second pillar. Shane, I'm going to let you kick it off, because you just led a session with Chris Stubbs, and Chris Stubbs can speak to this topic in such an eloquent way, but by proxy, we have Shane, who just led the last one. So the second pillar is extraordinary experience as part of our Brilliant to Do Business With pledge to you. So Shane, do you want to explain it a little bit more?
Yeah, so it's really important that you as a first mate are putting your trust into Virgin Voyages, and we want to repay that by delivering an incredible, exceptional experience for your sailors that keeps them coming back to you time and time again. So a customer or a sailor isn't a one and done. They're the people that keep coming back time and time again because the experience is amazing. We have created an experience where if sailors won't do everything on one voyage. There are over 20 eateries. There are incredible entertainment, so they will have to come back time and time again to be able to see and do everything. Which means that you are really planting a seed. That first booking is purely the seed of a tree that's going to grow and grow of all the experiences that sailor will have into the future. We have created everything based on research. So you heard from Ryan in the keynote right at the very beginning, and those of you that were in Chris's section, or some of you may have been with John and Nirmal, everything we do is based on really in-depth research. As much as we would like to make things because we like to do it, everything is done based on what people are telling us they want from a Virgin experience, which is really important. So you can be safe in the knowledge that everything we've created is well and truly rooted in delivering an experience that people have asked for. And sometimes they may not know it until they actually get and experience it. And that's why we're committed to giving you that opportunity. But there are three key things that I think, Jess, would be worth you talking through right now, particularly Voyage Well, because that's so obviously important when it comes to health and safety in a post-COVID world. So maybe you can kick off with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nirmal covered it best, so I won't rehash, but it's this experience-based approach to our response to COVID. And a lot was built into the way that we had designed our ship in the first place. And as we continue to innovate and think about it, as we think about testing in the terminal, it's with an experience-led approach to it. Just first thinking about the terminal flow and what that would mean to sailors and how we can make this an experience that is part of their vacation experience and not part of a medical procedure, right? So I think that as we innovate in this area, we will continue to communicate to you, our first mates, under this pillar of experience. And you can continue to share this information with your sailor under the pillar of experience and really talk to what they can expect and what kind of experience. So that's Voyage Well. The on us value prop or value proposition is really our inclusion list, and it's the inclusion of things like gratuities and service charges and Wi-Fi and basic drinks like coffee and tea and sodas, fitness classes, these things that when you're a consumer, when you're a sailor, they are the little things, little charges that if you get charged and they show up on your folio, they tend to annoy you, right? And then the annoyance becomes a bigger kind of disgruntlement with the voyage itself. And so those are the things that we've really bundled into the price and allows that experience to shine through so that, as Shane said, when they've had their first taste, they're more likely to come back and back and back. And the final one is bar tab. And I know that Chris touched on bar tab, but that's our approach to the drinks package. And, you know, I used to work for another cruise line. And I actually was.
How dare
you? I did. I actually was in charge of pricing the drinks package. And I will tell you that the math was not based on giving the sailor a great value. I know it's shocking. So, you know, the other drinks packages for the other lines, and, you know, they're great. They don't offer tremendous value for the consumer, I can tell you that. What we tried to do is give you a bar tab. It's something that you would typically do anyway, and we're really giving the sailor, your sailor, the flexibility to purchase whatever they want of our very reasonably priced drinks. So the bar tab is you buy $300 worth of a bar tab, which some sailors might need a couple. You know, I'm not naming any names, but if I were to like my nice wine, I would need a couple. And they get $50 on us. So for $300, you get a $350 bar tab. And so that's something that is really exciting and part of that experience pillar.
And I think the bar tab, Yeah, the bar tab is a really important nuance in terms of the Virgin Voyages experience, because again, our sailors told us through all the research that we constantly refer back to, they told us they weren't keen on this kind of stack it high, sell it cheap mentality of let's all pile into the bar, and they didn't want to subsidize other people's drinks. What they wanted was fair bar pricing and great quality. And what a drinks package or an all-inclusive drinks package is providing peace of mind, right? So that's ultimately what your customers want. They want peace of mind. They don't want to get on board a ship and feel like they're being ripped off. So we have demonstrated to you on firstmates.com and on virginvoyages.com, we display our pricing. So you can see our drinks pricing. So you can get a Heineken beer for $5, tip included, nothing else to pay. The price you see is the price you pay. And they're incredibly good value drinks, but there is also, if people want to splurge and treat themselves, they can. But the bar tab gives that peace of mind, as well as that extra Billy bonus of an extra $50 to spend on board, which is definitely worth having. So all of those things that Jess mentioned, they are all benefits for you as a first mate to be the hero of the conversation. So when somebody inquires about taking a cruise, you can say to them, imagine if I told you about a cruise line where you didn't have to pay for restaurants, you didn't have to worry about spending $50 a day on a drinks package you're not really going to use. You don't have to worry about having to pay for tips at the end and get an envelope to kind of pay for your tips and your service that you've had throughout your holiday. If you imagine all of these things that are included, it makes for a lot of peace of mind. And it makes for a really great sentiment, especially at the end of the holiday. It's a great opportunity when you finish your holiday and think, actually, that was an incredible value for money. And often when we say value, people relate value to kind of cheap. And value doesn't have to be cheap and cheerful. Value means that you are getting great value for your dollar. The amount that you're paying equals what you think it should do. And I think what we offer is exceptional value for money. And even more so when you get an extra $50 in the bar tab. So I'll take two. Yeah. So I'll get $100.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I think, it really allows you, our first mates, to become kind of the hero of this conversation, right? So you're able to present this value to your consumers and uncover it. And it's something that they might not have seen before if they're a cruiser, which likely, a lot of them will be. And I think they'll be delighted by it. So that rounds out our experience pillar, Shane. So
that's 2 out of 4, right?
2 out of 4. We're halfway done.
2 out of 4. So shall we jump into respect and integrity? So respect and integrity is our third pillar. And I probably think, obviously, commission's obviously great because obviously everyone wants to earn more money. But I think this is probably the most important pillar, because when we talk about Virgin being the consumer champion, that doesn't just mean for our sailors. That is obviously incredibly important. We obviously want to take great care of our sailors, our crew, but equally you as our first mate. So we wanted to look at the industry to say, what can we do to make sure that we are your champions and we are really changing business for good and challenging industry norms. And I think throughout every conversation, full disclosure, I also worked for another cruise line in the past as well. There's always been this elephant in the room. And there's an elephant that we all want to tackle, and very rarely people talk about it openly. So Jess, do you want to reveal the elephant and talk about how we're going to tackle that?
Yeah, so the elephant in the room is that there's a feeling that we as a cruise line would try and take your clients and convert them to direct sailors in the future. So there's the elephant. It's out there. We really want to talk about it because it's something that we're really proud that is not part of our strategy, not part of our ethos, not included, and that's why we're going to call it out and talk about it. It's kind of like being in one of those really awkward sharing sessions, right, Shane? But we're going to say it. So it is. So it's good to say, and it's good to work for a company that we can say with very, look you straight in the eyes through technology and tell you that your client is always your client. And we respect that relationship. And we know how hard you are working for your clients and the trust that your clients have put in you, right? They can go online and book a cruise if they want, but they trust you. They trust you to do the research. They trust you to know who they are and what they will like. And that is a relationship that is sacred. And we do not have any intention of converting that guest. And so we want to put that out there. We've done a lot of work in terms of the way that we treat our emails. And so it might be industry leading, I'm not sure. But we put your information, your First Mate information, at the footer of every single email we send. So right now, if you've got sailors that are part of the sailor journey, at the end of every email, perhaps it's one to remind them to download our app, which is really integral to the experience. And Shane will talk about that in a second. We'll say, if you have any questions, please contact your First Mate, and then there your information will be. Once we sail, we will have some marketing emails. So unfortunately, we haven't sailed yet. We haven't seen these, but we have some phenomenal marketing emails. At the end of every marketing email, it says, please contact your First Mate to book again. And so the call to action is always to reference you. We don't want to get in the middle of that, but we certainly want to help out with the experience journey, because we believe that the journey starts before they get on board, kind of in the planning and anticipation stage. So, so as part of that, we do need your sailor's email. We need your sailor's email so that they can access the app. So I'll get a little nerdy, and Shane will do all the fun stuff. The reason we need the email is we create a profile, and the profile is how you log into the app. So the profile is based on a couple key data points: your first name, your last name, your email address, and your date of birth. And that creates your profile, and it allows you to access your voyage on our app. So Shane, you want to talk a little bit about that and the exciting parts?
Yeah,
you've got it.
I'm actually loading up my booking right now. So the app is really, really important, and we want you to think of the app as an extension to your business. It's an extension to your team, because if a sailor goes and books a shore excursion on there, a shore thing we like to call it, or any pre-bookables, you are still getting the commission for it. So it's an extra teammate, if you like. It's a friendly person that's going to be able to make those bookings for you in the form of an app. It's also really important when it comes to getting your sailor voyage ready, as we call it, in terms of uploading their correct information and providing the information that we need before they get to the terminal, meaning that when they arrive at the terminal, they will have a really seamless experience. And trust me, your sailors will thank you for telling them about that seamless experience. If we don't have the emails, if we aren't able to communicate to your sailor, then they miss out on these communications that tell them all of this information and how to do it. Equally, they'll need the app to be able to tell us where they want their wearable to go to, because this little thing here is the band, and this will get sent out to your sailors as well. And again, that cuts down on cost for you. You're not having to mail it out to them and getting lost in the mail. We'll take care of that, and that's all done. But hopefully this gives you peace of mind that you can do that. You can provide us with those email addresses and not have to worry that we're going to market the butt off them and make sure we're going to try and steal their customers. Because not only did Jess mention that we include the call to action to visit their First Mate, but we include your actual information. So I know a lot of the industry is visit your travel agent. It's a very generic term, but we say your travel agent, your First Mate is Jess Travel, and she is located here, and this is her telephone number, because we want them to contact you. You are our partner in the same way that our app is your partner. So you scratch our back, we scratch yours, so to speak. So it's about taking care of each other, and it does take some thinking. It does take kind of opening your mind to a new way of working, because we've all been trained in a way that is kind of them and us culture, and it really doesn't have to be like that. When it comes to champion a new way of thinking and being your champion, and hopefully you can be our champion, it's about thinking differently and having trusting us. We have 100% faith in you, and we want you to have faith in us. And we know that takes time to build that trust, and we have made mistakes along the way, and we will always put our hands up, but we will always take care of you the best way we can.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. I was about to say, this is not us touting how completely perfect we've been. So we've had a couple snafus, with emails, and we're still getting it right with the right amount of emails and how we communicate with you, our first mate. So for those of you out there that we've either bombed your inbox or we've sent something incorrect, we apologize deeply. We are working really hard to get it correct. And we have amazing teams working on it, and going still a million miles an hour to continue our engineering within our CRM platform. So I think that is something we have committed, and we'll come out with, I think, some new announcements in this pillar regarding emails and frequency and the ease of use for you as our first mate that we have. So thank you for your feedback and your candid feedback is a gift. So thank you. So that moves us into our final pillar, our 4 of 4, which is inside intel, which is so exciting. This means that we recognize that you, as our first mate, as our business partner, need the information before the sailor gets the information. We need to share with you things like today, our thought process, the reasons why we are doing things. And if we're coming out with a new program or a new itinerary, we need to let you know first so that you can let your sailor know. So within this pillar is our commitment to let you know first. So thank you for all of our amazing first mates. We pledge to make sure that you know things first. And then there's another piece, which is getting to know us. So Shane, I want to let you talk a little bit about our learning management platform that you are championing. This is something that's near and dear to your heart, and you've done, you and your team have done amazing work here. So you want to elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, well, disclosure, I haven't done amazing work. SJ and my team has. So we really listened to your feedback. What you told us was society is great, but we need more. You told us that having our Facebook Lives are great, but you need more. And constantly came back to wanting to be able to learn at your own pace and wanting to be able to learn at a time that suits you. So we are currently building our incredible platform, which will be our e-learning platform, yet to be named. Maybe we could do a competition for you to name it. But there's an opportunity for you to be able to learn at your leisure. And you'll get to spend some time really delving into what really makes Virgin Voyages special. And the great thing about it is you can do that at your own time. It will be available 24/7. And kudos to SJ, who's in my team, who's doing an incredible job at working really hard to pull this together. So watch out for some more information on this coming in the fall. So there'll be lots more information to come, and you'll be able to get access to that. But again, taking advantage of this pause in operation, and we wanted to make sure that we again are investing in the tools that you need as first mates to be able to really know everything about Virgin Voyages. And also comes with that, it's about making sure that you get to experience Scarlet Lady and her sister ships for yourself as well. So we never underestimate how important it is for you as a first mate to be able to experience our ships firsthand. We always say experience sells. So we will get you on board Scarlet Lady when the time is right. So we are working on plans. We've worked on about 1 million different plans. They keep changing.
Yes, we can't wait.
One day we will get you on board Scarlet Lady, and we will make sure that you get to experience the lady ships as they should be seen. So watch this space for more information. We don't have finalized data yet, as there are moving pieces, but watch your space, and we will get you on board just as soon as it is safe and able to do so. Awesome.
Well, I think that wraps up our time. We are, Shane, I knew that we would be long-winded, so we are right at time. There is, for all of you first mates, there is a extraordinary thought leader coming on in 5 minutes. So if you could swim back to the main registration page and click on the closing speaker, the thought leader, they will be starting very soon. So,
and you don't want to miss this one.
No, not at all.
Good.
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.